Hi all. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. My name is Amira and my channel is all about trying new makeup, talking about new makeup, but also finding new and exciting ways to be inspired by the makeup you already own. If that sounds good to you, I hope you will consider subscribing, and if you enjoy this video, liking the video. Today we are doing my much anticipated, at least on my end. I don't know about you guys. I mentioned it in passing on my community tab, I believe, some time ago. And I was just trying to decide which brand I wanted to use as the comparison. So if you, at the very beginning of my channel, so if you've been subscribed for a while, you'll know that I reviewed the Danessa Myricks Infinite Chrome Flakes. And I had a very lukewarm feeling about the products, the range as far as the formula itself. I found it very finicky and I felt that it lifted up the eyeshadow, but I still think they're really beautiful, and I had 3 of them. I decluttered one, and I kept 2 that were the colors that I was really in love with. And I've wanted to sort of play with them some more. I've played with them since that initial review, and I do find that even though on the website and on the literature that comes with the product, it says that they work really well blended over eyeshadow, that you don't need a glitter glue, that you can, use a flat brush, you can use your finger. It's supposed to be a very versatile product. I do find it to be a bit finicky, and I found that for me, it works better on a lid with no eyeshadow. You can use a flat brush, or you can use one of those like rubber tools, which I do not have. I just have a flat brush here. We're going to use a little synthetic brush from ColourPop today. I think it works best that way, applied very lightly. I love the looks that Danessa herself has come up with on her, excuse me, on her website and on her Instagram. Those are beautiful, and that's really what I was going for when I first purchased the product. My goal was to really sort of see if I could replicate the vibe of those photos. And what I found is that those photos are beautiful, but the product will not last on your eye. In reality, I think the photos are beautiful. It's a moment in time, but if you are blinking and moving around, and the flakes will start to lift, they will move, it will feel very heavy on your eyes. So yeah, that's where I'm at with the Infinite Chrome Flakes. I don't love them, but I don't dislike them as much as I did. But I also just was curious, because after those came out, I found that a ton of indie brands came out with their own versions of the Chrome Flakes. And I was just curious about if the vibes were the same, if the formula was the same, if they had the same issues. And so I decided to try the Infinite Chrome Flake version of the Infinite Chrome Flakes, rather, from Unearthly Cosmetics. And these are their Molten Chrome Gel Flakes. And I got the shade MC17, and I'll show it to you here. And it is it's very similar to my personal favorite, at least of the original ones that she released. She's come out with some colors recently. She's come out with a Pride one that's really beautiful, but these are really expensive, and I just can't see myself spending $25 on another one of these. The Unearthly Cosmetics ones are $18. Make of that what you will. But this one, I feel, doesn't have a name. It's just MC7. This one I feel is a comparable dupe for this one. So I figured what we're going to do, guys, so we're going to put one on one eye and one on the other. We're going to play with them a little bit. We're going to see what we think. Are these comparable, or is it better? Who knows? Let's find out. All right, guys, so I have my face makeup on, but I don't have any eyeshadow or anything on. I did prime a little, simply because my lids can tend towards oiliness. And with these, I really wanted to make sure that the base was quite, is not tacky as I could get it, or is not as oil based as I could get it. So I do have a little bit of eye primer on, my Natasha Denona, just to give it something to stick to. We're gonna go in with the Danessa Myricks Fireball, and I'll show you what these look like. And I'll show you why this is my favorite, because I think this shade is just so stunning. Going in with my ColourPop, this is the E3, and it's like a flat little brush. So I'm going to swatch this on the back of my hand so you can see what I'm working with here. So that is the shade. It's so stunning. I don't know if it's picking up the reflect very well, but that's the shade. I love it. It has like a pink tone and it's got gold. It's just, it's beautiful. And then I'm going to take that same brush, I'm wiping it off, and I'm going to go into the Unearthly Cosmetics, and I'm going to swatch this one for you guys too. Okay. One thing I will say is that they do feel very similar in texture. They both feel very wet on the skin. So this is the Unearthly Cosmetics MC7, and this is the Danessa Myricks Fireball. I love the pink shift in this one. Love it, love it, love it. But I will show you what they look like so you can see. So this is MC7 and this is Fireball. Now I think Danessa has a pinky tone version like similar to this, but I don't own it, so I went with what I had, you know. All right, so on my right eye, I'm going to go in with the Danessa Myricks, and I'm going to do kind of a graphic look. I'm going to use my mirror actually, so I can actually, and I'm just going to lightly tap this over my lid. And then I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to do after that. Because I do want this to be quite impactful, but I'm not going to pile these on super heavy. At least not the Danessa one, because I don't think it lends itself to that. And like I said, I'm not going over the same spots. I'm just kind of tapping. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but this is what it looks like on. It's very pretty. I'm gonna wipe my brush off and we're gonna go in with MC7. Okay, so let's go in with MC7. Take a little bit. Let me zoom you guys out so you can see more of my eyeball. Again, like I said, they feel very similar going on. I will say that this one, just in real life, looks a lot less sparse than the Danessa Myricks Flakes do when you apply them lightly. Like I seem to be picking up more in general without trying to. I'm dipping lightly, but there's just more in the brush. I'm gonna let this dry. Right now, I already prefer the shade of this one. I love Fireball. Fireball is stunning, but I love the like pinky undertone of MC7. So pretty. So I'm gonna let these dry because that was when things got a little dodgy, was when they were drying on my eyes. So I'm gonna let this dry for a few minutes and then I'm gonna come back and we can talk about the texture and what it feels like and all that good stuff. All right, gang, I am back and it's been maybe between 5 and 10 minutes. I wasn't keeping track. I was on my phone, you know, checking emails, doing stuff like that. I did apply some mascara just to complete the look, but other than that, I've left my eyes alone. Oh, and then I added a little bit right after it because I was like, you know, this is kind of cute. I'm gonna add a little bit on the under eye, the inner corner. It's gonna be really cute, and it is. So this is the Unearthly Cosmetics side, and this is the Danessa Myricks side. Again, I think I prefer the Unearthly Cosmetics side, but I don't know if that's necessarily because of the product itself or just the color. I will say that I feel like I got a little bit more like product on my lids with the Unearthly Cosmetics than I did with the Danessa Myricks, and I went in with the same amount. I used this brush. I used one side for the Danessa, one side for the Unearthly, and I just literally just tapped and then applied it all over. So I do think that you pick up more product with this. I will say one thing that I did notice, and I noticed it specifically when I was applying it to my under eyes, and I don't know if you guys can tell, but there's like a giant, like large flake here. And I don't have a lot of that here, but that's something that happens quite a bit with the Danessa Myricks, is that you can go in lightly, but you'll get a thick sliver of the product that you then have to sort of blend out, and it can make the product feel a little bit thick or a little bit heavy. I will say I don't feel that thickness or heaviness, but I think that is specifically because of the fact that I'm not applying it over anything other than primer, and I went in quite lightly with the product itself. But I feel like I got more color payoff with the Unearthly Cosmetics using that exact same technique. And you can kind of see that. So, I mean, again, it could be an issue with the shade that I chose. Fireball being a little bit different from NC7. Or it could just be that's the way that the product is. There's really no way to tell. Well, actually, yeah, I mean, because you can kind of see here. What's interesting to me here is, and you can kind of see what I'm talking about. You see how this piece here is quite thick? This is where the brush first touched my skin and then I blended it out. And as you can see, I don't have a whole lot of that with this. Like I have a few little, because it is a flaky product, there are going to be flakes, but I feel like all the flakes kind of concentrated and then I had to sort of drag them out, where I don't have that issue here. So I will say technique wise, again, I applied them the exact same way, but I did have to sort of pull the product with this to make sure that it wasn't all clumped in one spot. Now, I love that look, and we can build it up, and I'll show you guys what I mean. I love it. Danessa did it in her promo photos. I can't talk. Her promotional photos for these products, these flakes, and I was obsessed. But when you do it this way, it can feel quite heavy, and I do think that's when you're going to sort of deal with some cracking, and you're going to deal with, you know, a bit more issues with the formula lasting on the eye. So I'm just going to build this up. I'm going to show you guys what I mean as far as how I love the vibe of that. And then I'm going to do the same on the other eye. So we did one coat, and now we're going to go in with two, and we're going to do the exact same thing. And I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so do you see that now? And you can really see the shift now. And that's the thing, is I feel like you need more to really get that shift that you want. Do you see it? And you can actually see more of the pink, because Fireball does have a bit of pink in it, which is why I chose this one, because I felt it was the most comparable. You definitely feel it on your eye. And again, it's wet right now, so it might not stay that way, but you can definitely feel it. I'm just gonna take this all the way around. All right, now let's do the other eye. We're gonna build it up with the Unearthly Cosmetics and see what we get. And then I'm gonna check some more emails and come back, and we can see if we have any cracking. Right now, as of now, we did not, because of the fact that the layers were so thin. But I feel like if you want that oomph, you're gonna have to build these products up. And I think that is where you're gonna really see if they hold up well. I didn't grab a lot on my brush this time. Let me make sure I grab enough. Okay. Went a little further down than I wanted, but oh well. Okay. So, look, I'm winking, but they both feel very wet on my eyes. On my eyelids, they both feel very wet. This one has dried. This one's still wet because I literally just applied it, but we're gonna let them dry down some more. 2 layers now, and you can really see the impact of them, and you can see why these types of products are so stunning and so fun to work with and so impactful. Like, you can just put these on your eyes and you've got a look, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna take some more minutes, a few more minutes away. I'm gonna let it dry, both eyes completely, come back, and we're gonna see if we're gonna have cracking on either side or lifting or how it feels on the eyelids once they've completely dried. Back again. All right, guys, so I'm back, and I will say this one has dried down completely, the Danessa Myricks, while I'm still feeling some tackiness from the Unearthly Cosmetics, and as a result, I'm feeling this one more on my eye. Now, I'm not seeing any cracking on either side yet, which is good. And again, I think it's because I've applied both of these with nothing on but the primer. Because I know for a fact that with this one, whenever I apply it over any sort of shadow of any kind, cream, powder, it doesn't play well. I have tried it over the Danessa Myricks Color Fix with a light wash. It did work well with that. But again, the product info says you should be able to use it with any kind of shadow underneath, you know, not specifically her brand of color fixes. So yeah, so I'm still feeling this one. It's still a little tacky. I also feel like, as you can see, it looks a bit heavier. I don't know if you can tell, but I feel like it looks a bit heavier than this one. And again, that could be the reflection of the shade. This one is definitely, in my opinion, more duochrome than multi-chrome. This one feels a bit more multi-chrome in person. In person, it has a bit more shift. On this camera, it looks quite pink, quite like that red, that pinky gold. And this shift on this one is a bit more apparent on camera, but it's not multifaceted. Like, it's not multi-chrome. I feel like I'm getting that golden and then a shift to that pinky tone. And that's about it. But I like them both. Like, I'm not mad about either of them. I do feel that because this one, when I applied both of them, had more product, I seem to apply more product in general on my eyelids, I would say I wouldn't go in with, like, I wouldn't go in heavy to get this look. I think I would still do one layer, but be really, really strategic about how I applied it. Because again, I don't necessarily feel that it dries as quickly once you put more than that light layer. Am I getting any on my fingers? Let me try this hand, because this hand already had some on my finger. Yeah, so if you can see there, it pulled some off my lid when I touched. So, oh, pulled a little bit more. So yeah, it takes a little longer to dry, and so you may experience some creasing over time. Yeah, so let me zoom you guys out, and I'll give you my final thoughts. So I don't know if this experiment was useful for you guys. I was just really, really curious about trying a similar formula from a different brand and seeing how I felt about it, because I do really love the concept of these chrome flakes that are in a gel that you can just apply. You don't need a glitter glue or anything like that. I really love that type of, the idea of that type of product. In practice, I find them to be finicky, more finicky than, just a plain, like, glitter, you take a glittery shadow and put glue on. I mean, that's more messy, but I don't think it's as finicky, if you know what I mean. If that makes sense. But I do love the effect, and I do love the way my eyes look. I love both eyes. This one is very intense. I think it looks really pretty with my lipstick, and I am wearing the Propa Beauty lipstick in Dynamite today, if you guys were wondering. But I like them both. I do find them both to be finicky, and I just think that might be the way that these products are, and you have to be very sort of strategic with how you want to use them. But knowing that, I think you can kind of go in and have a strategy about what you want to do when you choose to sit down and put one of these products on your eyes, So yeah, for me, I think it's just a question of which you prefer. I don't think that this one is that different. Again, like I said, I think you get more with the first application with this, so you don't necessarily need to build up. And if you do, it's going to take longer to dry. And again, this is still feeling tacky. I can still feel it on my eyelids. This one is dried down and I'm not feeling it at all. But I also used the same amount of product and got less on my eyelid with this one. This one is 25, the Danessa Myricks. This one is 18. The Danessa Myricks line is extensive. She has a ton of shades, and she released 2 new ones, I think, in either March or April, I think. And then she released another shade for Pride Month a couple of weeks ago. So she's got quite an extensive shade range. So if you're looking for other shades, you know, and you want more options, I think this one is a great option. It is $25. This is not a cheap product. She did have a sale recently, so I say if you can catch these on sale when she has her promo sales, maybe, you know, during holidays. I know she had one for Memorial Day, so she has one for like 4th of July or Labor Day. I would hold off and I would get these on sale. I would not spend the $25 on them. Sorry, just wouldn't do it. These are beautiful. I love the shades of these. The shade range is very limited though. So if you like this shade, I say get it. It's beautiful. I don't have any issues with this. Again, it's still just a little tacky from those 2 layers. If you want more options, try the Danessa Myricks. But again, wait till you can get it on sale. So yeah, those are my final thoughts, guys. I don't think they're like vastly different, but they do have some subtle differences, and it's really all depending on your preferences and what you're willing to put up with as far as how they feel in the eyes. Again, this one feels more heavy to me than this one does, but I also got more oomph from this one than I did from this one. So again, it's all about what you prefer. Have you tried either of these products from Unearthly Cosmetics or from Danessa Myricks? This was the first Unearthly Cosmetics product I've ever tried. I placed a little order with them. I bought this and I bought 2 other things that I will show you guys in a haul video that I will be posting sometime in the future, and show you, you know, this and a couple of other things I purchased. But this was my first time purchasing from the brand. I've had my eye on them for a while. I'm really curious about their eyeshadow formula and their eyeshadow palettes because their color stories are really cool. But if you've tried either of these products, let me know in the comments down below. And also let me know if you know of any other brands that have, you know, chrome flaky gel products. I'm curious. I'm very, very curious. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. And if you are not subscribed, please be sure to subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye now. Magic.